Okay guys, welcome back to another very long overdue episode of Revs, and it is absolutely freezing, but today we are back with a maintenance video on the Rotary Revs R3. So today we're going to be doing lower arms. As you can see, sadly they didn't do a recall on the R3 model, so today we're going to be walking you through on how to replace your lower arms if you have an R3. Happy days. If you've got an S1, then check your recall because you'll be able to go down to your Mazda dealership and probably have it done for free. Anyway, let's crack on because we're going to be doing the lower arms today and some extra goodies like racing beat roll bars. So, Ben, yeah, should we crack on? Let's crack on.
Right, so first things first, obviously get the wheel off. We're going to remove anything out of the way just to make the job easier. So caliper off, carrier off, disc off, and yeah, we'll go from there. So when you're doing bottom arms on these, the bolts can often snap. Abbo's aren't too bad because he looks after his car, don't drive it in winter, so as you can see there's minimal rust. The only thing that does matter is these, they actually run inside the bolt, so that's what gives you your adjustment for your camber and your caster. As you can see, they spin quite free, so we will need to be ordering some new ones of these really, but the bolts are okay in themselves. So yeah, let's get the other ones out. That bastard's solid. Right, so we've got all the bolts out now. I take back what I said about Abbo's car. It don't matter how well you look after it, rust will find its way in there. So that's what they're meant to look like, nice and shiny with a lot of thread, and that's what Abbo's look like. As you can see, there's no thread left, so it's actually seized in the bush, so after a fair bit of persuasion it's come out, but yeah, new bolt needed. So that's the failure on Abbo's car. The bush is split and it's just spinning inside, as you can see. Not good. Right, so as you've just seen, the hardware that Abbo's got at the minute, we can't reuse it, so we're going to have to order new. So while we're waiting for Mazda to drop it off, we're going to move on to the roll bars. So we've got front and rear roll bars to do. He's upgrading to the racing beat. So yeah, let's get them on and crack on, yeah. Right, so front roll bars now in, we're on to rear. The rears have been supplied with adjustable drop links, so we're going to install them as well. So yeah, let's get this one off and get the new one in.
I just want to give a shout out for the people who supplied the roll bars for this car. So who supplied the front was Reese from TPS, so big shout out to you, my man. And on the rear, I actually got that one off Dan Jones, so thanks for hooking me up with a good deal on that and with the adjustable drop links, so nice one guys. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy. Right guys, so the roll bars are now installed front and back. We've got the Racing Beat roll bars. They just go hand in hand with a good set of coilovers. Obviously, Habo's gone for the Mazda RX8s, which are a really good, fully adjustable coilover. So yeah, when Habo's giving it some round them corners, it'll keep that car nice and flat, limit the roll, and you're getting more grip on the road, which is better for anybody really. So yeah, let's crack on and get these bottom arms back in. Right guys, so day 2 on Habo's car today. We got the passenger side all in. We were just waiting for the new hardware, as the bolt that you saw was no good to reuse. So good news is the hardware's just turned up from Mazda. So we're going to tackle the driver's side now. So first things first, we're going to have to get the disc off, the calipers off, and basically just expose that area. So if you have these on your disc, they're normally quite seized in, but there is a little trick. So you want an half-decent socket with an half-decent bit in the end, and you basically just want to hit it so you're shocking the threads. And then it should come out nice and easy, like so. Now that they're out, the disc will come off, so all we need to do now is remove the caliper and the carrier, remove the disc, and then we'll get to the arm. So once you've got your caliper off, don't just let it dangle, because chances are if you haven't got the braided lines and you've got the originals, it's going to end up snapping or leaking brake fluid. So get a little flexi line like this, or a dog lead, and just hook it on something out of the way. Right, so now that the brake assembly is all off, it's nice and exposed, we can finally get to these bolts. So you've got the one on the bottom ball joint, the one that sits on the bottom of your coilover or springs, you've got the drop link and the camber and caster bolts at the back. So as you saw yesterday, the one that got stuck on Habo's was the rear one. It's a nice metal sleeve inside, so as you can imagine, 10-13 year down the line, the seas in, they get solid and the bush spins. So that's what gives us this problem. So we're going to coat everything in WD-40, leave it over lunch and tackle it after lunch, and hopefully everything's loose. So yeah, as you've just seen, the ball joint comes out quite easily. It can be a bit of a pain, but the best way to do it is just to slacken the nut off. Don't reveal any threads on the end if you reach the bottom arm. If you're replacing it, it doesn't really matter, but it's always good practice to keep it on. Just give it a little tap with a hammer upwards, it'll unseat, take the bolt off, and yeah, it's as easy as that, it's out. So then we move on to the shock, take the bolt out of the shock, and then move to the camber and caster bolts. There's no right or wrong way to do it, it's just the easiest way of working front to back. Right, so then guys, as you've just seen, I've had to get the saw out because it wasn't coming out, this bolt. So the ones that caused the issue are the back bolts, and they're basically seizing the bush, as you can see. So what happens is that spins free, the bolt stays inside, and you've got that to deal with. So yeah, about an hour later, finally cut out, arms out, so everything's ready to go back in. But yeah, just keep in mind if you are doing it at home on the driveway, you're probably going to have to do some cutting. So yeah. Right, so the reason that we replaced Habo's bottom arms is because he basically had a knock on the braking and turning. Usually what causes that is this seam here cracks, so it develops a hairline fracture. As you can imagine, over time when it's moving about, it opens up and that's what creates the noise. However, like I say, on Habo's car it was the bushes that has basically fallen apart. You know, just moving backwards and forwards creating a knock, but yeah, good thing to always look out for if you own an RX8 is a cracking bottom arm. Right guys, so the bottom arms are now installed on Habo's car, and obviously we've had the camber and caster bolts out, as you've seen, the bolts that got stuck, so obviously it needs a nice alignment. We can go through the full four-wheel alignment, check the back, check the front, and yeah, get it set up for a nice fast road setup for Habo, so yeah, crack on with that now. Right guys, Habo's bottom arms are all done now. He's took the car home. We were going to test drive it and do a bit of a video, but obviously it was snowing. It's not now, but all the salt's on the road, so
It's a no-go.
No-go.
No.
Sound in a garage, stored for winter, so yeah, we'll be doing that next year once it's warm and all this salt's gone off at road and Habo can bring his car back out. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm really happy with the car now. The driving experience is unreal. It feels like it's just rode out the showroom. The roll bars have made a huge difference as well, but like Ben says, I will be doing another video as soon as the weather gets a little bit better, so make sure you stick around. We do have some upcoming content coming out because Ben has brought a project car, so make sure you stay subscribed and we promise we'll get some more content out for you guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.